Welcome to Patriots Halftime. My name is Scott Benson. You, of course, already know Greg Green. His brother Richard, who normally occupies this chair, is away this week on assignment. And Greg, we're kind of a rarity this week. We've got a Patriots game being telecast by the local CBS affiliate here in Portland.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Scott. You and I have been trying for 2 years. We've talked to a guy named Dave King down at Channel 13. I think we've referred to him in previous broadcasts. He's a loyal man to his Giants fans. We've always seen the Giants in the past when they are available. The Patriots, Dave King feels that the Patriots are not available to him on a weekly basis, so he's going to be loyal to his Giants fans. However, there seems to have been a change of philosophy at the station. They're now going to put the Patriots on whenever available, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about missing any games in the future.
Well, that's all well and good, but we've got a game to watch this afternoon. It's been a thrilling game, but I think overall the big note of this game has been the loss of the Patriots' outstanding All-Pro and All-World linebacker Andre Tippett.
Yeah, I think you're right, Scott. I think both you and I will agree with the loss of Andre Tippett could mean a season to the Patriots. And right now, this is a game that the Patriots have to win, and they're not really playing very well. But the loss of Andre Tippett, I think magnifies that whole thing, regardless if they win or lose this game. If they lose Andre Tippett for an extended period of time, then it really doesn't matter.
Well, it'll certainly cast a pall over the outcome of this game, no matter what it is. At this point, we have the Patriots trailing by a point, 10-9. They drove, to our excitement, to a touchdown in the final 2 minutes of the first half, but Tony Franklin had an extra point blocked.
I think we got to give a lot of credit to Tony Eason on that, Scott. He came through. There was a penalty. There was a holding penalty on Greg Hawthorne, who's had a disgusting game. Although the referees are really pathetic, and we saw Raymond Berry speaking to them at the end of the half. But Tony Eason came through. He didn't allow that holding penalty to stop him. He came through, completed some big passes after he's really had a weak first half, and they should have tied the game up. Tony Franklin, of course, missed that extra point, which really could hurt them later on.
But a good drive nonetheless, and hopefully they'll be able to duplicate that a little bit in the second half. We won't have to worry about that point. Let's break it down a little bit. The things that we were interested in at the onset of this game is, can the Patriots stop Gerald Riggs, who's one of the finest running backs in the NFL, and how do you feel about that so far?
Well, I think the Patriots' defense has played well. They've only given up 10 points, and really Riggs hasn't done well. He's had some big yardage gains. That's the problem that I think we've seen. I guess, though, that's the type of season that Gerald Riggs has had. He can be stopped, but he'll come up with these big crushes on 3rd and 10. They'll give him the ball and he'll get 10 yards. And that's what he's done today against the Patriots. Overall, I think the Patriots' defense, if they've given up 10 points, we really can't complain too much. Although they are 10 legitimate points. It isn't like the offense gave up a fumble or anything. And if they give up 10 points in the second half, we could be in trouble. So I think right now that I'm not totally displeased with the defense, but I don't really want to give up more than 7 more points.
Which, of course, then leaves the offense. Tony Eason has looked pretty inconsistent so far today. He's had a lot of trouble completing passes. Once again, no real running game to speak of. We haven't had the ball for that long. I think the time of possession is tilted decidedly in Atlanta's favor. So any offensive thoughts on the first half?
This game kind of reminds me of the Jets game, not in any way to the extent of being behind 24-0 at the half, but the way that the time of possession that you just pointed out, the Jets were totally in command in that game. They had the ball. The Patriots probably had the game for 4 minutes, and I think the Patriots have probably had the ball 6 minutes today. It's totally been dominated as far as time of possession by Atlanta. The Patriots get the ball to open the second half, which I think is a big plus for them. If they can start to move the ball a little bit on the ground and mix it with the passes up the middle and move the clock, then I think that you're going to see a big turnaround by the Patriots offense in the second half. We saw glimmers of that at the end of the first half. However, this game's going to be won or lost by the defense.
Absolutely. It looks like a big defensive battle out there today, and I think we kind of expected it in a way from Atlanta. Let's talk a few things about what the Patriots perhaps can do in the second half that they maybe haven't done so far. What can we do to move the ball down the field a little bit more efficiently?
Well, I like to see the Patriots running to the outside, because you can't run inside on this team, and the Patriots can't run inside on anybody.
That's right.
There's no question about that. So I'd like to see them run outside. They seem to be fairly effective today with Collins running the ball outside. James, I don't know what to think of Craig James, because even when he runs the ball outside, he doesn't seem to make anything, and they're not keying on him any more than they are on Tony Collins at this point. Craig James just seems to have some head problems right now, and I really don't understand what they are. I'd like to see, though, the Patriots try to run the ball outside with Tony Collins, and in addition to that, set up a few of these longer passes. They seem to be being contained by Atlanta as far as the short things go, but the Stanley Morgan or Irving Fryer type passes downfield seem to be open today. Atlanta's got a weakness in their secondary. They've got 2 people in there right now. They're subbing for injured starters, and I think that we can move the ball downfield, and maybe if we can just quickly score a touchdown, it can be the stake that goes through their heart and takes the heart out of this team.
Well, that's to be sure, and it's too bad that Robert Weathers couldn't be with us this afternoon because he looked impressive in last week's game. And with Craig James, obviously, I think it's probably a slump. We could definitely use Robert Weathers. Let's close up here for a second with just one more. Let's go over the Andre Tippett incident again. What do you think this could mean to the team later on down the road, depending on the severity of the injury?
I think that it's both a psychological as well as a physical problem. I think Andre Tippett, there's no question, he's second in the league in sacks right now, and really he's an intimidating factor. He's their best player out there. But you got to go further than that because psychologically, the man is the leader on the team, and we saw him when he was put on that stretcher. He put a fist up to Fred Marion and said, "You guys better do well." That's the type of a leader that we need on this team,
Right.
and I really think they're going to miss him as much psychologically as physically. I know you're a big Andre Tippett fan, and what do you think?
Well, I've been disappointed with him overall this season. I think games 3 through 6 played really poorly, but inspirational to say the least in the last 2 weeks. And I know we were both sitting there, and I said to you several times, I can't believe we're sitting here watching Andre Tippett being carried off the field with an injury. It could be a devastating injury. I think that it's important that we put this out to the viewers this afternoon. This could be the injury which marks a downfall for this team, especially if we lose this game today. If we win, maybe we get a good injury report, and Tippett's back 3-4 weeks. That's the best we can hope for, I think so right now. And but still, like I say, this could be a major turning point in this season. We're already going uphill anyways. We lost big games to Denver and the Jets, and then that one to Seattle that should have never got away. We're already going uphill, as I say, and an injury like this could really weigh the Patriots down.
Well, I think the key thing that you alluded to in the whole discussion is this is a big game the Patriots have to win, and they're behind right now. Regardless of how they played in the first half, they're behind.
Right.
And if they lose this game, then they're going to have an uphill struggle. Andre Tippett or no, they're going to have to win every game for the rest of the season, and I don't think they're capable of that.
Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we're about ready for kickoff, so we'll turn it back to our announcers, and thank you very much for watching Patriots Halftime.